without getting re-arrested or put back in prison. Like, you made it, dude. You made it, bro. You completed your sentence. You didn't get killed, and you made it, bro. You got out and you lived and you made it. Now you're succeeding, bro. To sit here and be able to tell my story and succeed, like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever been able to do. And like, this is the best I've ever done in my life. And I want to share this success with other people and just to let people know, like, you can do it, dude. You can make it. Hey, welcome back to the W number. So today I want to talk to you without the music, without the fancy extra stuff, being real. I want to talk to you about getting out of prison after 17 years and exactly how it felt. And where do you go? Where does one go when they get out after 17 years? And what happened with me when I got out of prison after 17 years is I had no idea what to do. I still don't. I'm learning as I go. Like, how do you succeed? How does one become successful as soon as they leave prison? How do you make something with your life? How do you make an impact on society? If everybody could do that, everybody would do that. It's not as easy as you think. Just sitting here and creating this blog, this YouTube channel, podcast, however you want to name it, like, this message right here is the message, the real life message. Like, somebody like myself who has no experience with this whatsoever, and I'm just getting on here, kicking it, keeping it real with you, man. Like, when the day I was getting out of prison, bro, I was walking down that hallway. So before, I'm gonna go even before that, man. I was in my cell the night before I was getting out of prison. So I'm in my cell and I'm like not being able to sleep. I went around the block and I asked every single person for sleeping pills. I think I took like 10 different sleeping pills that night, and it still didn't work. I just felt all groggy the next morning. But I go through the whole night tossing and turning. I'm rolling around in my sleep, and I was so excited, but at the same time, I was so nervous. Like, I didn't know what to expect. When the time came, like, they come to my door and they're like, tie in hand, pack it up. You're leaving. It's just like, I already know I'm leaving, but that feeling, like, when they actually come, because you feel like it's not going to come, like, something's going to happen. They're going to tell you you got a new case. They're going to tell you're not leaving today. They messed up on your date or something. Like, it just seems so unreal, especially after such a long time. After my last one was 11 years. And like, after 11 years, like, looking forward to it your whole sentence and finally having that date come up is just like unreal. And when you finally do, like, get out after that, you're walking down the hall and you're just thinking in your head, you're like, oh my God, is this like real? Like, when you get to the door to go outside, are they going to just not, they're going to be like, oh, no. Actually, hold on, come with me. And they're going to bring you to the hole or something. Like, that fear is serious. It's a real fear. Like, I was so scared, man. Like, I was so scared that when I got to that door, they were going to turn me around for one reason or another and not let me out. But when I got to that door and my heart's racing and I'm standing there like, oh my God, are they actually going to let me out? And they open that door and that feeling comes over you, like chills, like feel that wheezy feeling in your stomach, and you walk out the door and my mom's sitting right there and she's crying, bawling, crying. She gets up like, oh my God, man. And seeing that was just like probably one of the most, that's something you'll never forget, And I don't want to, wow, I didn't even expect to feel like that, man. Like, just thinking back on it, like, wow, man. Yeah, dude, it's one of the most incredible feelings ever. And especially just seeing your mom, like, in exactly how she feels, like, because you always hear say, oh, I'm worried, and she's not sleeping at night and things like that, but you can't, just like she can't picture herself with me behind that wall and know exactly what I'm going through. I can't picture myself out there beyond the wall and what she's going through and how she's feeling about me and what she's thinking and her true fears like actually being real, because I'm thinking she's just saying it to make me feel better. But when I walked out that door and she was standing there crying, and she was like almost like, you know, happy toes, like she was like moving around in the same spot. It was just like, man, something like you'll never experience. And me inside my head at the time, I didn't even, I didn't really, I couldn't even feel. I didn't have any emotions. I felt dead inside, like it was not real, like it wasn't gonna happen, like something, like I wasn't even getting out. It was almost like I didn't want to let myself feel happy about it because it was just gonna get taken away from me. And to lose it after that is just like, it's like something I couldn't even imagine now losing it, again. Because the first time I got out, and my mom was there at that time too. She was crying, and that time she was really bawling, and it was just like I was dead inside. I had been through so much behind the wall. Like my bid was not a normal bid. It wasn't the average bid. Like someone goes in and they kind of stay out of trouble and get to a medium, and they're living like they can actually prepare themselves for the streets. I was constantly in the shit. I was constantly involved with something or another, and I never got a chance to like actually. I never got a chance to really grow as a person. I never got a chance to mature. I never, like, the only thing I improved on was my mind. Like I read so much, I learned so much. I actually got my paralegal certificate, and another certificate in um I got another certificate in advanced civil litigation, and then I learned Irish, Gaelic or Galga. I learned French and German. Now I forgot all of it already, but I did learn it at one point. I could write fluent German. I couldn't talk fluent German because I lacked that in-person experience, so I could pronounce the vowel combinations correctly and things like that. But I did teach myself a lot behind the wall, a lot about the law in general too. I had 3 lawsuits, and I think there's some still open. I just completely lost faith in the court system after they dismissed that case about my foot. There's actually a documentary on it that's on my added video by WGBH. It's called "I'm Suing My Prison Surgeon." But yeah, after I lost that, I got dismissed, and then the doctors came and spoke up afterwards. I just thought it was a total sham. Like there's no winning for us. And I just completely stopped. I forgot about it. I did put in a little work on it after, but then it was like my heart wasn't in it. My mind wasn't in it because I just felt like I was going to do all that work for nothing. The same thing like getting out. I felt like it was going to be all this work up for nothing. I was just going to get locked back up. And I didn't want to have to go through that. And when I actually did get locked back up after this sentence, I was in I got a dirty urine because I was going through a breakup with my girlfriend, and I just used. I ended up using. I was very in love with her, and I didn't know how to deal with those feelings, and I said fuck it, man. One night I literally I took a bunch of pills. I smoked crack, and I overall I would never have done that. Like I'm not even very bad with the drugs. Like I did use heavily. Don't get it wrong. I've shot needles in my arm and things like that, but never for a long period of time. And it really wasn't my thing. I really only did it because I wanted to get high, but I was trying not to feel the feelings that I had. I was always so insecure, and I had so much anxiety all the time. Like just being in fucking like fear basically, for so long for one reason or another. The fear of the ips, fear of the law, fear that someone's gonna catch me sleeping. It's not a way to live, man. Fear is a terrible thing, and whether it manifests itself in courage, or it manifests itself in cowardice, fear is still a very real thing for every single human being, because without fear you would not have courage. And I feel like the fact that I did make it that far, and I did do what I did the way I did it and how I did it, that's true courage. To me, that means I am not a coward, bro. I have heart, dude. Like I would never back down from another man. But for in all reality, the biggest courage is when you stand up to the people who are putting their boot on your neck, the people that are that if they could, they would bully you, or they would take your shit, or they would victimize you. Standing up to those people, that's the real courage, that's the real heart, dude. Standing up to the people who have done dirty things to children or whatever, like that. Yeah, that's anger. But you know what, in some senses, man, like some of those dudes aren't pussies, and I went after them, dude. Like I went after them with kind of like a fury. Whenever I saw them, there wasn't many around, just. But if you like Rats and Skinners, man, they're just like, they're on an equal playing field. But I just, you know, to remain on a different, no, a positive like level, like to look forward to the future, to look forward to something different, like that right there is so hard to do when you're in that, when you're in prison, like when you're, especially when you're in a bad prison, in a maximum security prison, or you're locked in the hole for so long as I was. Like I really did 10 years in the hole, and I made 2 videos about that. I really did 10 years in the hole. I did 7 and some change on my second bid, and 3 and some change on my first bid. It's an immense weight on you. Like when you're in that room and you have nothing else to do or nothing else to think about but what's wrong with your life, because you're not thinking about, oh, my life is so good, my life is great, like I'm in this cell and I can't, the cops are beating me up every day. Like you're not thinking my life is great, you're thinking about every single thing that's wrong and what can go wrong or what can get worse. And it's very hard to think, what can I do to get better? How can I move forward in a positive way? Like it's very hard to do that. I did that, and that is what takes true courage, dude. That's why I know in my heart that I have true courage, bro. I walked that yard, I walked those blocks, and I kept my head high every single day. I looked every single man in their eye. I told them exactly how I felt when I felt it. I did not hold back unless it was uncalled for or just being a bully myself, in which I did do it sometimes. I did succumb to that feeling where I was so mad all the time, and I was so angry that if someone did something to me, especially if it was like somebody I had no patience for because they're such a lame, that like it's just so easy to be like, dude, fuck you, you fucking punk ass motherfucker, and punk them off. But that feeling that they must have felt because I did that to them, I could only imagine like what it would do to a man's ego, or how it could affect a person, to their core character and their being, because I couldn't imagine letting that happen to myself. And when it was becoming a thing, like if someone did it to me, and there's those options, you have those 2 options: either take it and you're looking forward to a whole lot more of it, or you stand up to it, fight your battle, and hopefully you'll dead that little situation and not create a much worse one for yourself, which a lot of people get confused with. People who are in there just deserve to be in there. They deserve what they got coming to them. Like I've actually had people come into my comment section and say, "Oh, this man deserves it. I can't even watch anymore because he deserves everything he got." You know what? Maybe I did deserve a lot of the things I got, but I did not deserve to get treated like an animal. I did not deserve to get beaten with handcuffs and shackles on for zero reason. Zero. Like I didn't come out of my neck at them. I didn't do anything filthy to anybody. Like I simply spoke out for somebody else that was getting beaten up by the cops, to a paralegal, not even a lawyer or a cop or anything like that. I just asked her like what they could do about it, because people were getting savaged by these cops over there. So I said, you know what? Nah, man, I'm going to talk to this lawyer and see if we can't get one of these people representation so that they might be able to sue and get something out of it. And because of that, they took all my stuff away, held me down, and smacked me in the face with a Move Team helmet. I did fight back, but what am I supposed to do? Am I not supposed to fight back? They're going to beat me up the same way, either way. So I did what I felt like I had to do in every situation. Did I go overboard in some? Of course I did. Do I feel bad about it? Maybe a little bit. For some of the things I've done, yeah. But for doing what I needed to in order for myself to survive, doing what I needed to in order to ensure that my mom didn't lose a child inside the prison system so that she wouldn't feel the pain of losing another child. I already lost my brother Chris. To lose another child, especially in a savage way inside a prison, I'm not going to let that happen to my mother. No, no, no. And so, doing what I needed to do throughout my sentence, it was a weight that was on my shoulders. It's a weight on everybody's shoulders. You carry that with you every day. Like, do I need to do something violent today in order to protect my life? Do I need to hurt somebody in order to not get hurt? That is a heavy weight. It's a burden to carry around throughout your entire incarceration. Think about how it would feel, the weight, the heaviness on your heart, knowing that every single second of every single day you might need to use violence in order to survive. You're in constant fight or flight, constant. And that stress eats away at you. Like, if you let it, you'll lose weight. I've seen people deteriorate mentally and physically. I, at some points, did deteriorate to the point where I hurt myself and stuff like that. And I feel ashamed of that. Like, I really do. I feel ashamed that I succumbed to. It's not that they made me do that, but I did it because I thought that it was in some way getting at them. If you could even begin to fathom that. Like, I didn't do it to myself because I was weak and I felt like, oh, I have to do this because I feel pain. Ooh, I did it because I'm like, fuck you, what are you gonna do? Like, and I wanted them to come in my cell and there was no other way to get them in there. And like, yeah, I did it to myself out of anger, and I did it to myself in order to, because I felt like it was actually doing something to them, which is this nonsense, stupid idea. But that's the places that your mind will go inside of there. So to get released after many, many, many years of this feeling, that feeling right there is so crazy, dude, that even just thinking about it and putting myself back in that situation makes me like almost like I can't even like I didn't expect, like when I sat down to make this video, I was happy and I was thinking, oh, I just want to tell people about it, and I didn't expect it to like affect me in this way. Like, and it's just a fucking crazy feeling, man. Crazy, crazy feeling, dude. And just to know that I made my mom happy and know that I'm making my mom happy right now. I'm succeeding. I got monetized on my YouTube channel. I mean, yeah, it's due to hard work, man. I get out there. I track these stories down, dude. Especially the last one I did with Eric with the brain damage. Dude, that kid's story is so incredible that if you don't watch it, you're just losing out on something. You're losing out on a testimony that is so worth listening to that it's disrespectful not to. This man got up there and spilled his heart, the worst things he ever went through. He watched his girl die in front of his eyes. He died. Like, he was in a coma for 35 days, and because of that, he lost the function of his brain forever. Like, he went from an honor society student to nothing. I won't get into that for this video. This is not what this is about, but I do recommend you watch it. I definitely put some work into making it too. But to get back onto my subject, the day I get out, right? I get in the car. My mom's got this clothes. I had bought some of my own clothes. She had bought me clothes, and I put my sneakers on for the first time, like these nice shoes, dude. Oh my god, it's like heaven on your feet, man. Like, you putting clothes on and smelling that smell, the new clothes and the new shoe smell, like just those sensations, that sensation of driving in the front seat of a car. Like, everybody who's been in prison knows what I'm talking about. When you're driving and you're in the front seat of that car and you're like bobbing down the road, you feel like you're in a spaceship, dude. Like, it is so weird, man. And like, you're driving and you got this like this feeling in your like inside that's starting to build up because you have made it off the prison grounds without getting re-arrested or put back in prison. Like, you made it, dude. You made it, bro. You completed your sentence. You didn't get killed, and you made it, bro. You got out and you lived and you made it. Now you're succeeding, bro. To sit here and be able to tell my story and succeed, like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever been able to do. And like, this is the best I've ever done in my life. And I want to share this success with other people and just to let people know, like, you can do it, dude. You can make it. You can make it even from the worst position possible. You can make it from the bottom. Like, it doesn't matter. You put that work in, dude, and eventually you will succeed. Like, in the biggest way, you just have to keep working, keep working, keep working. I'm in that gym every single day, dude. I do not put one day to waste. I'm either learning how to make videos, coming up with ideas, or finding a story and tracking people down with incredible stories. This is what I'm going to do now. And I just wanted to share that feeling with you guys. Like, and like sleeping in a bed for the first time. Like, phew, I slept till like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I had got my family bought me a mattress because they knew like how I'd been complaining for years that my back I had slept on the metal. I didn't sleep on a mattress for my second 11 years. In half of my first bid, I slept on a metal bed frame with just a blanket on it. Like, that's how raw I lived. I lived on a metal fucking bed frame for so long, dude. And like, getting out and sleeping on a mattress, that right there is so, it's just this small thing that means so much. But compare it to like now, and just knowing that like I went from that day with so many fears, like, not that I'm not gonna make it, like I'm not gonna be able to succeed, I'm not gonna be able to be anything in this life other than a fucking ex-convict with nothing and nobody. Like, it's just incredible. I just wanted to make a small video, man, and just share something with you guys today. But I appreciate you showing up. And for everybody who did show up, man, I can't, I gotta go. But I love you guys, man. Thank you. W number out.